was supposed to be the Fort Knox of the digital age. A cold wallet. Offline. Untouchable. Protected by multiple keys held by different people scattered across the globe. The very definition of unhackable security. The entire idea of cryptocurrency is built on the promise of absolute mathematical trust. But trust is a human emotion. And on February 21st, 2025, that trust was shattered in a heist so audacious, so vast, it didn't just break the record for the biggest crypto hack ever. It became, as many security experts would later whisper, the biggest hack in the history of the world. The target was Bybit, one of the largest cryptocurrency exchanges on the planet, handling billions of dollars in trades every day. The scene of the crime wasn't some back-alley server farm. It was the glowing, user-friendly interface of a wallet service called Safe, used by the biggest names in the industry to secure over $100 billion. A name you could trust. The attackers didn't smash their way in. They were invited. They were the ghost in the machine, hiding in plain sight. The story begins not with a bang, but with a whisper. A single developer, working for the company that built the Safe wallet, was targeted. A sophisticated phishing attack, a piece of malware disguised as harmless trading software, found its way onto their computer. It was a digital Trojan horse. From that single point of infection, the attackers, later identified as the Lazarus Group, a state-sponsored hacking army from North Korea, began to move. They slithered through the network, gaining access to the developer's AWS cloud environment, and found their way to the front lines of the company's web infrastructure. They were in, and they were about to pull off the perfect crime. For 2 days, they lay dormant, quietly modifying the code of the Safe web application. Just a few lines of malicious JavaScript. Nothing too obvious. They were altering the very reality the Bybit executives would see on their screens. When the team at Bybit went to perform a routine transfer from their ultra-secure cold wallet to a hot wallet, they saw what they expected to see, a legitimate transaction. The interface told them everything was normal, but the code was lying. The 3 signers, high-level executives, including the CEO himself, reviewed the transaction on their hardware devices. They were, in effect, signing a contract they couldn't read, a blind signing. They thought they were authorizing a transfer of funds. They were actually approving a change to the wallet's smart contract logic, handing the keys to the kingdom over to the hackers. In that moment, $1.46 billion was no longer their money. It was a digital ghost slipping through their fingers. The wallets were drained. 401,000 Ethereum, along with millions in other tokens, vanished into 40 different addresses, beginning a frantic race across the blockchain. The crypto world erupted. In a decentralized community, there is no 911. There is no central authority to freeze the accounts. Instead, a ragtag coalition of white hat hackers and blockchain detectives sprang into action. One of the first on the scene was ZachXBT, a renowned on-chain sleuth. He was piecing together the puzzle in real time, and within hours, he had done the unthinkable. He had linked the attack to the Lazarus Group, connecting the stolen funds to wallet addresses used in previous North Korean heists. The hunter had found his prey, but catching them is one thing, stopping them is another. The Lazarus Group is infamous for its insane efficiency in laundering money. They use a dizzying array of cross-chain bridges, decentralized exchanges, and mixers, swapping Ethereum for Bitcoin and trying to offload it through over-the-counter desks across Asia. The entire crypto ecosystem became a battleground. Security experts pleaded with platforms to block the transactions. The FBI even issued a public notice, urging every node operator and DeFi service to freeze the funds. It was a digital manhunt. And yet, the fight was deeply complicated by the very philosophy that created this world. The ethos of decentralization means no one person, no one company can simply turn it off. Some platforms decided to take a stand and help. Others, however, were faced with a moral and ideological crisis. They argued that censorship, even to stop a rogue state, was a violation of the principles of permissionless finance. They effectively bought time for North Korea to launder the funds, pocketing millions in fees in the process. The community was fractured. In 10 days flat, Lazarus had bridged almost all of the stolen Ethereum into Bitcoin. Kim Jong-un's nuclear weapons program just received a massive, untraceable injection of cash. One cybersecurity expert would later reflect, "Lazarus is good. Lazarus is crazy good." He wasn't praising them. He was acknowledging a terrifying reality. They are trying to compromise every project in crypto. This wasn't just a hack. It was a fundamental breach of trust. The old tactics die hard, and as long as they are effective, the hackers will keep using them. The code is law, but when the code is compromised, what law is left to protect us? The psychological toll is immense. Builders keep building, but they do so with a constant, gnawing fear. The fragility of money is no longer an abstract concept. It's 2 lines of malicious code. So, where does that leave us? Bybit survived. The CEO, Ben Zhou, went on a live stream the same day, calm and direct. He promised the funds were backed 1-1, and he delivered. Bridge loans from industry partners and a flood of support from whales helped them cover the deficit in just a few days. They even launched a bounty program, offering 10% of the stolen funds for their return. But the victory, if you can call it that, is hollow. The real story isn't about the billions lost or the millions recovered. It's about the inherent paradox at the heart of this grand experiment. A system built on the promise of absolute mathematical trust is, in the end, only as secure as the humans who build it. The code can be perfect, but the humans who write it, who read it, who sign it, they will always be fallible. The biggest hack in history wasn't an attack on cryptography. It was an attack on human nature, and that is a vulnerability that no blockchain, no matter how sophisticated, can ever truly fix. The digital Fort Knox wasn't breached by a supercomputer. It was breached by a single, well-crafted lie. And as long as we are human, the ghosts in the machine will always have a way in.